happened to your friend Dabo? We'll find out.
Will.
It was a great night for sports, Skip. You know, I was going back and forth, you know, looking at one TV, see the championship game, and looking at the other TV. Oh, Goat James.
Goat James against what's left of the Cavaliers.
Don't do that,
Is that what
Don't
it
do
is?
that,
We have a packed show today. How impressive was LeBron last night as he eclipsed another milestone in the Lakers' 9th straight win? But who's counting? And Cowboys safety Xavier Woods will be joining us in studio to talk all things Cowboys. That should be interesting. But first, we do have to talk about Joe Burrow and the LSU Tigers. Nothing fazed the Heisman winner last night in the national championship game against Clemson. LSU found themselves in a 17-7 hole in the second quarter to a team who had won 29 straight games. Burrow responded by scoring 3 unanswered touchdowns to go into the half with a 28-17 lead. From there, it was all LSU. Extended their lead in the second half and went on to win 42-25 thanks to Burrow's 465 passing yards and 6 total touchdowns. So, Shannon, how impressive was LSU's comeback?
Skip, it was very impressive considering that they were down 10 points and who they were down to. Skip, when they dropped 63 on Oklahoma, he was like, well, that's Oklahoma. Oklahoma doesn't play defense. Their defense is their offense, and Jalen Hurts putting pressure on you, forcing you to score a bunch of points.
Everybody put 63 on Oklahoma.
Okay.
Yeah.
But this was Clemson, the defending national champs, that was leading the nation in scoring defense. Skip, they were averaging giving up 151 passing yards per game. And in 14 games, they had given up 9 passing touchdowns. Joe Burrow, against the #1 scoring defense and the #1 pass defense in the nation, got 5 touchdown passes, a drop touchdown, and they took a knee on the 5. That's what he did. Skip, early on, you could see it took them about a quarter and a half to figure out exactly what Clemson was doing. Because what LSU does, it's a pro-style offense, Skip, and we call it scat protection, which all the eligible receivers is always releasing. Clemson was blitzing that formation. So it just took them a while. Hold on. We can't hold the ball back here. We got to get this ball out quick. They started running jailbreak screens, getting linemen out there, and all of a sudden they're picking up yards. They started getting the ball, 3-step drops, getting the ball out, letting those speedy receivers make plays. And then they bring the blitz from one side, Joe Burrow, quarterback draw on the other side, picking up 10, 15 yards. Skip, he was unbelievable, the poise that which he showed. But you shouldn't be surprised because they've been the best team all year long, Skip. And Joe Burrow, what he was able to do, they beat 7 top 10 teams at the time of they playing them. Joe Burrow is 27-2, 27 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He's averaging 398 yards a game, Skip. So what he did and who he did it against is what makes it impressive. You can say, well, if he did this against Ole Miss or he did this against somebody else. But, Skip, this is a team that had won 29 straight games. Their defense, and we know what Brent Venables, okay, we talk about St. Nick, and so you're like, I'm done with St. Nick. Brent Venables is the best defensive coordinator in the country. And Joe Burrow made him look mundane. Skip, the dude, they had 623 total yards against the #1 defense. That would be the equivalent of a running back gaining 250 against the 2000 Ravens. You're like, what? That's what I was saying. He made that defense look very, very average. And we know that defense is anything but average. Their best corner, Skip, they tried to hide their best corner. And they found him. The thing is that LSU can have so many good receivers that you can't hide a bad corner. Because you go from Jefferson to Chase to Marshall, then you throw in Randy Moss' son Thad. Where you going? This was very impressive. They've been the best team. This was a Cinderella season that got capped off, Skip. I haven't seen anything like this. Not what Joe Burrow did, what LSU done, and for them to cap it off in the fashion in which they did, it was unbelievable. They beat Clemson. This was, you know, you can dress it up and say, well, Trevor Lawrence had a bad game. They beat Clemson, the defending champs, and Joe Burrow and that offense was spectacular.
Would you say Dabo got humiliated last night?
Well, he did. What is it? Turnaround is fair play. He did it to St. Nick last year. Okay, what goes around comes around. They call it karma. You know, that's what I love about karma. Because karma is sometimes patient. It'll wait 5, 10, 15 years, and sometimes it's Amazon Prime. It's right around the corner to drop it off to you.
Well, this one took like 15 years.
No, it didn't.
Because I don't think Dabo's had much karma in his coaching life.
No.
Seriously.
Well, hold on. I think Coach Saban shut him up when Kelly Bryant was before they Trevor Lawrence the year before. I think Coach Saban shut him out 23-0 or 23. Something. But not like this, Skip.
Not like this. So, to amplify what you just said, to me, Dabo Swinney is a far better coach than Coach O. Far better. I think anybody who knows college football would agree with that.
Yes.
That Coach O is more of a recruiter than a strategist, right?
Might be a heck of a motivator, though.
He's a motivator, recruiter, but
Yes.
when it comes to X's and O's, I've never thought he was the greatest at that. And I'm going to point out that it wasn't that long ago, shortly into the 2017 season, Coach O was on the hottest of hot seats at LSU.
Yes.
They had just lost at home to Troy, 24-21, and there were lots of stories in the state of Louisiana about how much it would cost to buy out Coach O's contract.
Right.
That wasn't that long ago, just a couple of years back.
That is correct.
And as you point out, Clemson came into this game with the #1 scoring defense in the nation, and I do agree with you. Because Brent Venables, I know from University of Oklahoma days, he is the best at what he does. So when I saw Trevor Lawrence on a little option keep score the first touchdown of the game, and if we could see that, he blew a kiss to the LSU fans. And it was
like a kiss goodnight, huh?
Yeah, like, yeah, good night. Here we go. He scores, and then he blows a little kiss. Ooh. You barely saw it there, but he just blew. Here we go. Little kiss. There you go.
It was a nice kiss.
It was a nice little kiss, and it was like a good night kiss because it's very close on who is the more confident team coming into the game between LSU and Clemson because they are extreme confident programs, and Clemson for the longest time, LSU for only this year.
Correct.
Right? So he blows the kiss, and then the next thing I know is T. Higgins, their 6'4" receiver, takes the reverse and goes all the way home. And what did he do just before the goal line? He absolutely blew up Christian Fulton, who I'm pretty sure is going to be a first-round NFL pick at cornerback. And he KO'd him before the goal line, scored, and that made it 17-7 Clemson with about 10:38 left in the second quarter. And at that moment, I sat back and I thought, you know what? Coach O and his group, they're in big trouble right now because this is Dabo.
Yes.
And what do I know about Dabo? Well, he did annihilate St. Nick's team last year, 44-16, and that was after the semifinal game in which they just absolutely crushed Notre Dame 30-3.
Yes.
And then I can go back to games like in 2016, they beat Ohio State 31-0 in the semifinal before they beat Alabama to win the national championship. And I'll go back to my days with my Oklahoma team against Dabo. Baker Mayfield played him in a semifinal game and lost 37-17, and it wasn't that close, trust me. And then once upon a time, if we can go back to early Dabo against Bob Stoops, he beat Bob Stoops in a bowl game called the Russell Athletic Bowl, 40-6. I'm just telling you, Clemson is a steamroller. They just crush people.
And Dabo always gets his teams up to play.
Right.
You never have to worry about that, but they were down. They come ready to play.
So I read a story on ESPN.com that there was a big surge of what they call sharp money late in the day yesterday on Clemson, which made the spread a lot closer because the people in the know like the Tigers from Clemson over the Tigers from LSU because all the stupid money was on LSU that didn't turn out so stupid after a while. So what happened from that moment on? To your point, LSU outscored Clemson the rest of the way 35-8. Let that sink in. 35-8, and it wasn't that close.
No,
it was a mismatch from that point forward. And Jamar Chase, who did win the Blitnikoff Award, was being covered by Clemson's best corner, A.J. Terrell, and he just couldn't cover him.
Right.
It was a mismatch. It's like, where's Jamar? I'll throw it to Jamar again.
That's your best guy. Well, if that's your best guy, where can you put him now, Skip?
I don't know because now you got mismatches everywhere. And Joe Burrow is an escape artist as well as a deadly accurate passer because he's got legs now
He's
for
more
6'4".
athletic than you think.
Whew. And again, he's not as fast as Trevor Lawrence is down the field, because
Right.
once Trevor Lawrence gets uncorked,
Right.
once he gets those long legs unwound, he can fly, man. He looks like he runs a 4.5-ish kind of 40. But Joe Burrow has quickness and cleverness and instincts to beat the rush and buy time
Right.
and create. And then if you don't protect, he'll gouge you down the
Right.
field. He'll get 10 real quick, right?
Skip, I thought really one of the plays of the game, you mentioned Joe Burrow's legs.